We're in way media.
Hello, twisted humans. Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting? Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alicia. And I'm Sierra, and this is Twisted and Uncorked.
Hello and welcome to episode 142 of the hottest new podcast in TikTok because we finally made it, guys. And by that I mean we have a bunch of haters. Isn't it great?
We had that a while ago. We had that on like episode 47 when you did Darlie Routier.
But this time it's multiple. That was like 2. This is like 47.
Yeah, we were pretty convinced that that was the same man making different accounts.
Right. Yes.
But we, as we were recording this today, it is the last day of January, and we released our bonus episode crossover with Nick Amell from the Tennish podcast. So that is what we are referring to. People are cranky that the United States has the most serial killers,
Shitty.
is my takeaway.
They're clearly pissed off at the facts that the US fucking sucks in some regards. So there's that.
We were catching up while she was stuffing her dinner in her face because she's been going to school, guys. She is wearing her scrubs even if you were watching this.
Tired.
She's
you can
adorable.
see my eyeballs. Sorry.
Yeah, you
no
do look
makeup today.
tired. It's okay. You're working hard.
Alicia, tell me a fun fact.
We love our animal facts on this show and we try to spread them out. But today in particular, I read something super interesting about polar bears and that their skin is actually black. And their hair is not white, but it's translucent and it reflects all of the light, which gives it a white hue.
Interesting.
I thought that was super interesting. And then I proceeded to tell my coworkers that fun fact, plus the fun fact that I had used a while ago about people that live around the Hudson's Bay leaving their car doors open because polar bears will eat you and you need to be able to, get into somebody's car and sit and wait it out.
Wow.
And then they looked at me like I was a crazy person. So that's where we are today.
Fun times.
What about you?
Yeah, the museum that I used to work at when I was in high school in Cincinnati had a taxidermy polar bear.
What?
Yeah.
Was it gigantic?
It was gigantic. Yeah. It's really cool though.
I picture polar bears to be like extra big. I don't know why.
They are. For sure. Anyway, my fun fact is not about animals. Well, sort of. This guy's an animal. It's about Stephen King. Sort of. Okay, so Stephen King has a band. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, he's in a band.
Like currently?
Let me see if they're current. No, they're not current.
Oh.
1992 to 2012. And it was kind of just like a fun thing. I don't even know if, let's see. Yeah. It was a ton of people. It looks like they all just kind of hung out.
What was the name of the band?
Well, that's the fun fact. So the name of the band is Rock Bottom Remainders. And the reason for this name, well, I don't know if it's the reason, but a cool thing about this name is if you ever go to a discount bookstore and you see a book that has a black dot on it, those are remainder books. If the book is no longer selling well and is being sold at a discount to basically get rid of it. So like if a bookstore bought, 500 copies of a book and from a person who is selling them, but then only like 300 of them sold, they can send them back to the author, right? Or the author can be like, no, it's fine, just keep them. And they'll put a little dot on it to sell them at a discount because those are the remainders. They're leftovers. They're old. And his band is called Rock Bottom Remainders because they're old and silly and goofy and leftover. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious.
It's pretty cool.
I love
sounds like
clever
a
names
thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said a senior thing to do.
Oh, no. A Stephen King thing to do. Yes.
I'm going to have to go and check that out though, because I love Stephen King.
For the fun of it. Like, not even because they're good, just for the fun of it.
That's how life should be. I love it.
I
love
agree.
it.
It's great.
And speaking of having fun, guys, we are not doing a sangria today because it is the first episode of February and we are going to do dry February again. And it always seems to land in between the wine and the sangria, and we're sorry for it, but we have a whole super fun backlog of recipes if you're craving that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, you can support us by going to the links posted below. We're both doing Dry February for Cancer Society. There is an American and a Canadian one, Sierra and myself. We do not take it personally, which you choose. It all goes towards an incredible thing. We are just both doing it because we live in 2 different countries and, be healthy for the month. So, not that we're not normally healthy, but you know what we mean.
And if you decide to buy us a coffee / buy us a beer / whatever this month, that money will go
donate
towards
yes.
that. Yeah.
On your behalf. We will also do our Patreon pledges for the month as well, like we did last year. So please consider donating if you've even got $1 to give. It is a really good cause. Oh my God. I can't speak English. I'm drunk on water over here in my super fun horror friends.
Love
that my
it.
friend got me for my birthday a couple years ago. Except I broke the straw. And so the one straw that I have that works for it is like too
Tiny?
short a little bit.
Oh no.
So I feel like a little kid when I sip out of it sometimes, but that's okay. I will live.
Yeah. I have also got water in my Stanley.
Because Sierra,
as
don't worry, Sierra didn't take anyone out at Target for
my
that
Stanley
cup.
is not a limited edition red.
Have you seen those videos though? Like,
yeah, I don't understand.
Go feral.
Listen, I don't understand people in general, but I also don't understand what's so cool about the color red. Like, honestly, it's not even that pretty. I don't get it. I don't get why they're so.
It's a cup with a straw.
A Stanley Cup is great, but if you go to Dick's Sporting Goods right now, they have a ton of them. They're just not red or pink. Everyone freaked out over the red and pink. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we just got one for Bubba for his birthday, which is in a couple days, and we got him a black one. They have black, they have blue, they have green, they have
every other color,
weird gold color. They have ones that are like ombre. They're just not red or pink, which are apparently the Valentine's Day limited colors. They're gonna come back with red and pink. They're normal fucking colors. Okay, you guys are insane. But also, I love my Stanley Cup. I will continue to pay $40 for it like a normal person. Not 120. So I have a conspiracy story today.
Ooh, I forgot what category it was. I'm just here blind. I showed up.
Yeah. So we told you some fun facts, but if you're here because you saw that video had actual facts and you're like, I want to hear more facts, this is the wrong episode. Okay. We told you the fun facts. Now we're going to talk about not facts. These are conspiracy theories. Okay. The one I'm telling you about today is not widely followed or believed because I might be starting it myself today. Yep. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I concocted this conspiracy with a lot of factual information and a little bit of conspiracy information. And I merged it together with the help of TikTok because that's how I do. It's probably problematic, but it's still fun to discuss these things. So that's what we're doing. It's probably also going to make people mad.
Would come.
Of course. So we're going to get right into that after we take a little break to hear a promo from Like Mother, Like Murder.
I'm very excited to hear about your personal
I'm so excited.
Conspiracy.
Okay.
I'm a little scared. I'm not going to lie.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Okay. I feel like I have a weird conspiracy every time I do a conspiracy episode. So, like, listeners, if there's a conspiracy that you want us to cover, message me on Instagram and I will do it. But without your requests,
but until then, she's going to make up her own.
Yeah. So this is what happens. If I'm this paranoid when I'm bored, imagine what I'd be like high. And that's why I don't smoke weed. Woohoo. Okay. So last year, Jesse and I listened to a book that I mentioned on a Patreon episode called The Fourth Turning. It was written in the 90s, and it's about how history repeats itself. The book's main focus was on generations and how these groups of people make their marks on history. Obviously, the stereotypes about certain generations don't apply to each and every individual living that was born during those years. But statistically, when these people were grouped together as a whole generation, the things that were said about them in the book all made sense. Now, I'm not saying that the authors of this book were geniuses who knew everything. I actually didn't even like the book all that much because it was really boring and repetitive. But they did nearly predict 9/11, the conspiracy behind it, and even a pandemic that would cause isolation. In chapter 10, the author wrote, quote, "The following scenarios might seem plausible," end quote. And then he lists different likely scenarios that would happen in the 2000s. Again, this was published in 1997. So this is him predicting what might happen. Here's the first scenario. Quote, "A global terrorist group blows up an aircraft and announces it possesses portable nuclear weapons. The United States and its allies launch a preemptive strike. The terrorists threaten to retaliate against an American city. Congress declares war. Opponents declare that the president concocted the emergency for political purposes." End quote. So, although this did not happen exactly, it was a prediction from 1997 now of what the 2000s might look like. And it seems like this is really similar to 9/11, right? A seemingly random terrorist attack that leads the US into a war that it probably shouldn't be a part of. And after a while, people started to think President Bush knew it was going to happen all along and may have been in on it. Weird. Okay. Here is another scenario that the book states. Quote, "The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention announced the spread of a communicable virus. The disease reaches densely populated areas, killing some. Congress enacts mandatory quarantine measures. The president orders the National Guard to throw prophylactic cordons around unsafe neighborhoods. Mayors resist. Urban gangs battle suburban militias. Calls mount for the president to declare martial law." End quote. Yeah, seems like this could be COVID. It's weird when you're reading a book that was written in 1997 that is literally telling you your future, even though it's our
Creepy.
past.
It's like The Simpsons.
It's weird. Yeah.
Are the Simpsons writers vampires, and did they write this book?
No.
Okay.
This book was written by some old dudes. One of them died. Not a vampire.
Not a vampire.
So seems like they could be talking about COVID there. And aside from the quarantines, there were other events where the government was encouraged to declare martial law because of riots and protests. So, like, again, not geniuses, but they know a little bit what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. There was one very specific thing that they said that they got so wrong, in my opinion, though. But I think there might be a conspiracy-related reason why it's so wrong. And that's what we're talking about. So when talking about the next generation growing up, this is written in 1995, the book suggests that millennials would be a very great and powerful generation, leading the way for the next ones after us. They literally call the millennial generation, quote unquote, the heroes.
Okay,
I'm not saying that we're not, okay? Don't go getting offended yet. But when this book came out, millennials were still so young, some literal babies. And the people who were in power were the boomer generation. And the book suggests that although the boomers will grow to be more snobbish and judgmental, they will be basically cheering on millennials alongside Gen X, while both of these generations refuse to allow another generation, the millennials, to be deprived of their American dream. Quote, "Whatever their new economic hardships, and they could be severe, millennials will not rebel, but will instead mobilize for a purpose. People of all ages will jointly resolve to remove any barrier to a bright millennial future. Older leaders will be inspired to enlist them for public action that would have felt hopeless. Young adult millennials will see politics as a tool for turning collegial purposes into civic progress. End quote. Which I do believe that millennials are this way. But so the book goes on to say that millennials will change feminism and the mystique between the sexes and labor law standards and government regulations. I agree with all of that. It's just the stuff with the boomers, it doesn't compute, right? All right.
Yeah.
So, okay, boomers. Now I'm about to offend you. I apologize in advance. The book states, quote, "The hero archetype is made, not born, and the making begins in childhood at the hands of parents," end quote. And many boomers with millennial children were not the greatest parents. And as boomers age and do indeed become more judgmental and snobbish, we haven't really seen them be accepting, welcoming, or cheering on millennials. It seems to be the opposite, actually. People have been blaming millennials for crazy things for years. Many things weren't even done by people of the millennial generation, but for so long it was easier to just say, "Oh my God, these fucking millennials," or "Look what millennials are up to now," every time anyone did anything weird that made the news. Being called a millennial was an insult. I remember this because I used to insult people by saying it before I realized I was a millennial.
Okay, I definitely never did that, but I do remember that wave of blame. Because even like in my early 20s, and I would be told, like when I would tell people I was a millennial, they would be like,
I remember the day I discovered that I was a millennial.
How old were you?
22. No, not 22, 25. Shit, hang on. Yeah, 25. So me and Jesse were at Brett and Kelsey's house, and we were talking about annoying fucking millennials. All four of us together were talking about how fucking annoying millennials are.
And
it was bullshit.
At least 3 out of 4. You were also millennials.
All four of us. But we didn't know it. We were all talking about how fucking annoying millennials were. This new generation is awful. And I wonder if our kids are part of this generation. When does it end? Let's Google it. And I was like, guys, we're all millennials. It's not even us doing it. It's fucking the next generation. It's not even us. Like, what the fuck? So anyway, that happened. People from the boomer generation have been running our US government in a big way since 1989, when Dan Quayle was the vice president to George H.W. Bush. Since then, only boomers have been in office. Clinton and his VP were elected next, both boomers. George Bush and his VP, both boomers. Barack Obama is a boomer, and his VP Biden is actually older than a boomer, but so close to the cutoff that it still fucking counts. Trump and his VP were boomers, and now we have Joe again, and Kamala Harris, who is a boomer. It has been 3.5 decades of boomers running the US government. This is not supposed to happen. The book even talks about how Gen X and millennials would eventually make it to office. This was not supposed to happen. I'm not saying that the book is perfect, but why are they holding on?
The book is the book of our history and our future.
Yeah. No. Okay. So my conspiracy that I am creating and spreading to the twisted humans today in the form of a question is, what if the boomers sabotaged millennials? What if they read this book in 1997, and thought, we can't let these little shitheads be the hero generation. We need to fix it ourselves. And while doing that, we need to take away their credibility. The people literally in charge, the government, taking away the credibility of the next generation would not be very hard to do with the advancements of social media coming about. For instance, the news and media that is shared could easily be bought and bribed to say certain things about certain groups of people to brainwash the people watching into having certain beliefs about an entire group of people. In this case, millennials. This happens all the time. Liberals are brainwashed to despise conservatives. Conservatives are brainwashed to despise liberals. Also, some of it is like they despise each other for good reasons. But the brainwashing is not uncommon. People push their agendas, right? All of America was quick to jump on the bandwagon of blaming millennials for dumb shit, including me, like the Tide Pod fiasco.
Oh, God.
And this is why I remember how old I was. The Tide Pod Challenge, quote unquote, came out in 2018 and consisted of a bunch of teenagers basically daring other teens to eat Tide Pods on the internet.
Wouldn't that be Gen Z?
Yes, that's what I'm telling you. The millennials didn't even fucking do anything.
No offense,
In
Gen Z.
2018,
But that was a really fucking stupid idea.
In 2018, the youngest millennial was 22 years old. But for some reason, millennials were still blamed for it because the brainwashing had worked.
And millennial just rolls off the tongue.
It doesn't matter. We were all young and dumb once. Their young and dumb days just ended up on the internet. I just want people to know it wasn't us. I'm not saying blame them. I'm just saying stop blaming us.
Right? We
Not
just
even me
had the internet when
specifically,
we were
but
teenagers.
millennials. Yeah. So just brainwashing people into thinking millennials are awful isn't where my theory stops. Yeah, that's shitty. But politicians do that to everyone every day when they try to spread their own messages. I think the government took it even further than these subliminal messagings. I mean, we've seen in the past what they're capable of with the weird experiments they've done on people, right? MK Ultra, all kinds of shit. They're experimenting. Here is where the TikTok part comes in.
Okay.
All right, hear me out. Mandela effects.
Mm-hmm.
We are all pretty sure that there is some sort of timeline jumping going on because we remember things differently than how they are. But what if it's not timeline jumping? What if we're not wrong? What if the government or these big companies are gaslighting us? I am not 100% sure, but when I think back on it, I don't think I know any Gen Z or boomers that have experienced Mandela effects. Do you? It's always millennials, sometimes Gen X, the ones that are really close to millennial age. Why are we the only ones who are experiencing Mandela effects? Millennials are the ones that are so sure that the things we see today are different from when we grew up. And in some cases, people have found proof that they were right, but people still don't believe them. Someone on the internet has a copy of the Genie movie called Shazam that everyone claims never existed, and we're just thinking of the movie Kazam. Allegedly, that copy of the movie Shazam is locked in a safe somewhere because the person who has it doesn't want it to go missing. There are also a lot of merch products that have been found that say Berenstein instead of Berenstain, even though everyone claims that must have just been a misprint like 100 fucking times. If you believe in the timeline jumping, then it makes sense how just a few of those things, were left over from the other timeline. Maybe they came into this new timeline with the owner somehow. But not everything is that explainable. I found this girl on TikTok. Her name is Nicole, but her account is called Dime Lifting. She went down the Mandela effect rabbit hole and was determined to prove that she was not crazy. And it definitely worked. She has me and many followers convinced. She started with the Monopoly Man. Monocle or no monocle?
Monocle.
Every fucking millennial remembers that damn monocle. She remembered him having one. But anyone else you ask will say he never did. So she did research and dug until she actually found the Monopoly man's monocle. Pull up the first picture on the drive. You see the monocle? There he is. So in certain runs of Monopoly Junior, the one most of us millennials would have played when we were kids, the Monopoly man is wearing a monocle on the $2 bill. But it's only on the $2 bill and
That's
only
fair.
on Monopoly Junior. Funny that now that we're adults and people ask us, do you think the Monopoly man had a monocle or not? We sort of remember a monocle. We're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we remember that. But everyone will just tell you, nope, he never had a monocle. You're just crazy. Is this not the definition of gaslighting?
It is the definition of gaslighting.
It's almost as if someone wanted us to see it, to confuse our brains just enough so that later, when asked, we look crazy by saying we remember, and the majority of people don't remember it. Monopoly isn't the only big company that has been accused of fostering this gaslighting behavior. Fruit of the Loom. Nicole was also very positive that the Fruit of the Loom logo had a cornucopia, as are most millennials. She, along with many others, including myself, strictly remember learning what the fuck a cornucopia was by seeing the Fruit of the Loom logo. Where else would I have learned about this fucking thing?
Where else? Yeah, where else in your life if you had a need for a cornucopia?
Never. My first time I ever saw one or learning the name of it was when I saw it on Fruit of the Loom. I was sure of it, and so was Nicole. But Fruit of the Loom was and always has been absolutely adamant that they have never had a cornucopia. Their website literally displays a timeline of all their different logos starting in 1893. Go to the second picture on the drive. That's allegedly all of their logos.
No.
There's also a tweet that the company posted that was a picture of a crossword puzzle. The crossword question was a fill in the blank, and it said fruit of the blank. And then in parentheses, they wrote company that in fact does not have a cornucopia in its logo. And then the retweet from Fruit of the Loom said something like, and it never has. Even Snopes, a fact-checking website, said that the claim, quote, at some point in the past, Fruit of the Loom's logo contained a cornucopia, end quote, was false. Snopes said it has never had a cornucopia. So maybe this is just a run-of-the-mill different timeline thing. But Nicole went digging. First, she found someone who literally had a shirt that had the cornucopia in the Fruit of the Loom logo design. Go to the next picture. There it is. We know it. We've all seen it. It's the fucking logo on the fucking shirt as the tag. But that wasn't enough for Nicole because she's like, someone's going to say this is fake. She kept digging. She found newspaper articles that referenced the cornucopia. I'm going to read these articles to you. The first one, it's a very weird article. It has nothing to do with Fruit of the Loom except that it mentions Fruit of the Loom. Okay.
All right.
The title of it is Underwear Character is Still Appealing. Oh, this one kind of is about Fruit of the Loom, actually. And when it says appealing, it means it's
Like
spelled P-E-E-L. Peel. Yes. Okay.
Love it.
So the article says, Et tu, Fruite? Of the many surprises we menfolk discover in our underwear every now and then, fruit is among the rarest. The last time underwear fruit happened to me, it was a ripe mango, but that was years ago during Richard Nixon. Anyhow, aside from bananas,
What does that mean?
fruit, I don't know. Anyhow, aside from bananas, fruit images and underwear rarely grow on the same vine. And even today, Sam Wright looks back on that aspect of his career with bewilderment. The corporation never fully explained the concept to him, even though he played Purple Grapes. Wright comes to Melbourne Sunday for Kids Jam USA, a live family entertainment gig at Brevard County Community College's King Center. For this incarnation, Wright will assume the Sebastian the Crab persona he cultivated in the Disney film The Little Mermaid. But for 19 years, Wright made anywhere from 120 to 140 television commercials for Fruit of the Loom underwear. And he didn't even wear Fruit of the Looms. He wore skimpy bikini briefs. Quote, my wife's European, quote, he says from a hotel room in Tampa. Quote, she said, cotton underwear made me look like an old man, end quote. Anyhow, Fruit of the Loom's logo was initially a cornucopia swollen with an apple, green grapes, purple grapes, and their green leaves. Wright was the purple grape cluster, and he had to pretend Fruit of the Loom's I never found them that comfortable were great. Our job was to get more people excited about wearing Fruit of the Loom, Wright says. As Fruit, we knew the waistband was stretchable because we lived there. Random article, but it literally says Fruit of the Loom.
I'm not even sure what some of what you said meant. Yeah.
You got the important part. It was an article about the guy who played Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. Okay. Here's another article. Just random fucking article, right? The title of it is Cornucopia of Job Cuts. It goes on to say, Fruit of the Loom Inc. said it would slash its U.S. workforce by 12% by eliminating 3,200 jobs in 5 southern states by year-end to improve profitability. 6 plants will be closed and operations will be reduced at 2 others. The nation's largest underwear maker said the affected plants were in Kentucky, North Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. The firm's profits dropped 39% in the third quarter to $24.5 million. This was from years ago, but it literally says cornucopia of job cuts. Why the fuck would they write it cornucopia of job cuts if there wasn't a cornucopia? Like, people don't weird. Just use that as a word. No one says that. Okay. No. Clearly, 2 articles prove cornucopias. But Nicole Dimelifting was still not satisfied. She continued, because proof beyond a reasonable doubt is what was needed, like with the Monopoly man's monocle. So she went to the source and pulled their trademark. Official government documentation of the Fruit of the Loom trademark. You can see it in the next picture.
Oh, how does she get a hold of that?
Says under the design section where you have to type in or write in what the design is that you can't just draw the picture in that spot. You have to write words. Yeah. It says berries, raspberries, strawberries, grapes, apples, basket of fruit, containers of fruit, cornucopia, horn of plenty. It fucking says it in the trademark.
Yeah.
What the hell? Literally, they can't even argue with these facts.
No.
But they still refuse to believe it, and people will still call you crazy if you tell them you remember a cornucopia. But if all these things are proven to have existed, the question becomes, why did they exist only for a small amount of time? Why were they changed? And why do people refuse to allow the truth to live on the internet and in the mass media? Like,
why are we being gaslit?
Why can't we just tell people, oh, we found it? No. Why are we crazy for this?
Yeah.
Someone commented on one of Nicole's posts and said, quote, Mandela effects are government experience to see how much they can gaslight the public, and you can't convince me otherwise, end quote. And when I saw that, I thought, that makes so much fucking sense. And then I also thought, but why? What is the government gaining from this? And that's when I remembered the book and the thought that millennials could have been such a strong and powerful generation that really could have changed the world. And I started thinking about all the shit that millennials have been put through, and this conspiracy was formed. If they're gaslighting us about little things like Monopoly and cornucopia,
what else are they doing?
Possibly other Mandela effects. Yeah, what else could they be gaslighting people about right now?
That's scary.
Who else could be in on it? I think that one day in the future, the Mandela effect conspiracy theory is going to have a Wikipedia page similar to the MK Ultra, a government experiment. I'm just nervous about how much else of our world is essentially a fucking game to them. Now let's discuss. That's my information. This is my new conspiracy. If you don't want to believe that millennials specifically are being sabotaged because you're not a millennial and you don't like the way that that sounds, fine. But I do think that's the government slash the one percenters, the people who own these fucking companies know that they're fucking gaslighting people, whether it's just millennials or everybody.
Yeah. It is. It's weird though. Like even like
It is. What the fuck?
like Snow White. Hi ho, hi ho.
It's off to work we go.
Yeah, no, apparently not. It's home from
It's
work
not.
we go.
It's
Like,
not. It's weird. I don't get it.
I completely agree. I think that
Disney could totally be in on the gaslighting. They have enough fucking money.
right?
Magic mirror on the wall.
Yeah.
Since fucking when?
It's kind of scary though, because we see instances of government control or like things being implemented. But then at the end of the day, it's like, what is the point of this?
Speaking of America being shit, by the way, from like the first part of the episode where we were talking about gun laws.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
no.
shit, guys. It's fucking shit.
It's just bizarre. Like, what is the point? Like, what do you gain from us believing something totally different? Like, I don't get it. It scares me.
It does.
Some other
it
ones?
Scares me. The Pikachu, he fucking had the black thing on his tail. I know he did. He doesn't anymore, but I know he did.
Yeah, that's
the
weird.
black spot on the tip of his tail,
no,
just like on the tip of his ears.
Yeah.
Apparently, he never did. These are all things that would have been relatable to us. All the Disney stuff. We're all mad here.
Yeah.
Didn't say that. Allegedly. You know, not anymore anyway.
What?
It says most everyone is mad here. Yeah, in the movie, not in the book.
My
but
friend,
in the movie.
Oh, okay. I was like, my friend literally has the tattoo that says we're all mad here.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, but apparently the book still says we're all mad here. But in the movie, I watched it, and he says most everyone is mad here, not we're all mad here.
Huh.
Yeah.
Weird.
All things that we watched as children, that we saw on TV, the fucking Fruit of the Loom underwear we wore, like
yeah,
the Monopoly Junior we
that shit
played.
Came in a 3-pack, and I
Why?
don't care what you said, it had weird cornucopia on it.
Why is it all of this stuff? Like, the millennial generation is being so gaslit, or maybe not millennial, maybe it's Gen X and millennial. I don't know, but Gen Z, they don't remember any of the stuff we do. Oscar Mayer, it's not fucking Mayer. That says mayor. Oscar Mayer is Meyer. There's a song.
What is the song again? I forget.
My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. My baloney has a second name. It's Meyer. I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say, because Oscar Mayer has a way with BOLOGNA. That's the song.
I think I just really wanted to hear you sing it, but I'm happy I
thought so, especially when I kept, like, I would stop and like, come on, don't you remember it yet? No? Okay, I guess I'll keep going. Yeah.
It was perfect.
Anyway.
And in the song, it says M-E. God damn it.
They said it's M-A now. M-A-Y-E-R. No, the fuck. No.
I just don't get what the point is. If you guys can think of any other
because they don't
things
want us to
that
be
we
heroes.
are being gaslit on, and
if us to change
we're not crazy here, let us know. I don't think we're so bizarre. So bizarre. I like it. I'm glad we finally got to talk about this because I've seen it a lot of places and I've wanted to. So thank you for turning it into an episode.
Yeah. It's very confusing. I'm still very fucking annoyed. Like, okay. There used to be a time when people were like, I'm going to be the first female president and whatever. Like us, millennials said that. We were excited to do that. We have all, not all of us, almost all of us have been of age to run for government for a couple years now. And guess what? None of us fucking want to. You know why? Because we know people hate us. We know people are going to laugh at a millennial.
Yeah.
And why are people going to laugh at a millennial? Because we're fucking crazy people who think that Oscar Mayer is spelled with an E, and that Pikachu had black spot on his tail, and that Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia. Like, it's
Well,
so
it did.
annoying.
I saw government proof. So,
Do you think Pluto is going to be a Mandela effect one day? Pluto was never a planet. Yes, the fuck it was. Like, why did they teach us that if it
No.
was wrong?
Just the existence of Pluto altogether is going to be
Right.
a mental
Right.
effect. Pluto was my favorite
God.
planet. Don't take it away from me.
But it's
just
not Pluto
crazy.
anymore.
I know. Well, it goes back and forth.
We're
Who
an
knows?
experiment to them. Okay, I'm telling you. This whole generation, they're like, let's see what we can do to these kids. Let's fucking leave them home all day while both parents have to work and just see what happens. These fucking latchkey kids. Like, let's just see what happens. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
It's just maddening.
Yeah.
I like to think that most of our listeners are around the same age. So let us know your thoughts.
Sorry if I offended anyone. I know
people.
not all boomers. I get it.
No, we never
I'm just
speak in blanket
saying.
statements.
Never.
Never. We accept all, but this is weird. And we do need to talk about it. But then it's
It
like,
is
is this
weird.
episode going to be removed? It's like not even going to upload. It won't even work. They'll just be like, no,
Oh,
fuckers. I don't know why I put that in
no. I don't
the
think
universe.
we're on Trump or Biden's radar at
Watch
the moment.
list.
And it seems
Not
like
yet.
they're going to continue to be in charge until if they ever pass away. So
Isn't Trump in jail?
no.
Oh. I thought he got put in jail.
He was in jail for like one night.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
And listen, okay. I'm sorry, but this is really hilarious. And also, like you have to laugh at the pain, right? He was in jail for one night. His mugshot was trademarked by somebody in his team, his, whatever. And it made like over let me look up the real facts so I'm not lying to you. Over $7 million people pay, like, in total. When they got his mugshot,
that's an unfathomable
it made
amount
over
of money.
$7 million in that night because people wanted to wear it on t-shirts, like free Trump. You know what I mean? Like, people are fucking insane.
Can you imagine if people put that much money towards something good?
Yeah, right.
Not getting a lunatic old white man out of prison.
I just know he got out and that his mugshot made a lot of money and that he's running for president. And so is Joe Biden. And no offense, but both of them are way too fucking old to be fighting like this anymore. Okay. I'm not ageist, but leave some fucking time for the youngers of us. Okay. We want to be before the fucking world ends. Let some of us run, please. Thanks.
Yeah, let some of us still change. I can't say us because I'm Canadian, but so I'm all here for it. Sierra for president? Sure, why not?
I'm not old enough yet.
I saw there's somebody that I follow. His pages are called Nobody Cares Anthony, and he talks about like funny misprinted signs and labels and like things that people try and sell on Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. He is hilarious. I would recommend that you guys go and follow him. But he released a video today of a post of Biden's speech, like following it, and his commentary at the end of it was very funny. But I was like, what did I even just listen to? Like,
they're just so it's like
what was
teenagers
said there? Like, what is the takeaway message?
This is what happened. Trump and Biden are two teenage girls from rival cheerleading squads, like on fucking Bring It On. And somehow they were time warped to be fucking 80 from that day. And they're still fucking fighting. Like, they literally fight like 16-year-old girls. Like, you're too old for any of this. Ugh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk about politics other than the
sorry,
government
guys.
playing
That
experiments.
was a little bit my fault, but still ridiculous. But
Somebody
great
else, please
episode.
run for president.
Yeah, right. Anybody else? At this point.
Anybody else?
Just give us some variety.
Oh,
I say us because, a lot of our listeners are American and I am,
and you have to
Sarah's
deal
best
with the
friend, and I gotta
annoying
deal with
downstairs
yes,
neighbors.
absolutely. So I need a change too. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Please. Wait, Nick Jonas for president. Where's the guitar
his
chip?
picks.
Yeah, let
Nick Jonas
guitar chip.
2024.
Yeah,
Fucking
Nick Jonas
yes.
2024. I'm gonna throw that hashtag around and see what happens.
Pretty sure he lives in London, so I don't know if he's allowed, but he's still an American
He's an
citizen.
American citizen.
Yeah. Speaking of yummy celebrities, I just read a book called Romantic Comedy.
Yes.
It was so good, and you have to read it.
I saw that on your
So good.
page. Okay. I will add it to my list. We will talk about it.
Yes.
I love how you literally put a pin in that. Like she was sitting
Yeah.
there, guys, with her
A
finger
literal
up the
pin,
entire
my finger.
time. It was
Mhm.
hilarious.
I had to remember it.
There we go. At least we're ending on a nice note here. Nick Jonas for president 2024 and and that's all.
Yeah.
Let us know some of your guys's gaslighting Mandela moments and
send us some conspiracy topics so I don't have to keep creating my own.
I don't think this world is short of them, really, but I'm glad you created your own because this is like a trend that I keep seeing and it's making me crazy. So
yeah,
we're not the only ones. And because Sierra did such an amazing job of creating this little conspiracy, we need a 5-star review for that. So that would be great. And go and check out our Dry February posts, and we love you lots, and we'll see you next week for my episode. And in the meantime,
keep it twisted.
Twisted and Uncorked is a proud member of Weirding Way Media. Hosted and produced by Sierra Zorn and Alicia Watson. If you like the show, don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you are listening now. It really is the best way to spread the word. You can check out all things Twisted on our website, twistedanduncorked.com, and we will see you next Tuesday for a brand new episode.